here's the tea. If there's a guy that doesn't want to be with you, it's because they are super, super insecure and they don't feel like they bring enough to the table to be with you.
Okay, I'm gonna have to pause you right there, madam. That is the biggest load of bullshit I have ever heard. Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again with another response video. And on today's video, guys, we have here a woman who is shocked that men don't want to date single mothers. Now, I have been saying this since basically the beginning of this channel, guys, that men should not be taking single mothers seriously, okay? My view is if they're not your kids, they are not your problem. But we live in a society now where men are shamed for not committing to women for all sorts of reasons, and that's what we're going to be taking a look at on today's video. But guys, before we jump into today's episode, as always, remember to subscribe to our other content creators, Hadan from Peace of Mind and Detective Warg. But without further ado, guys, let's jump in and take a listen to what this woman has to tell us about dating as a single mother.
So I'm just sitting here while my son is asleep, and I've just been reflecting a lot on being single and my dating life. And it really shocks me when a guy doesn't want to be with a mom.
Why? Like, why would that shock you? It amazes me, guys, right? And I've said this about society so many times, but it's just mind-boggling to me how a lot of women will go out there dating and they'll never consider what a man wants or doesn't want. Like, it's just completely invisible to them. Maybe a man with self-respect has no interest in taking care of another man's child. I know that's crazy. I know that sounds unreasonable. But guys, like if for example, right, I don't have children, okay? But if I had children as a man, like I would understand that some women would not want to mess with me as a result of, you know, me having children. It goes without saying. It's like, it's an incredibly big load to bring into like another person's life, or to expect someone to take on if they enter your life. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me why on earth this woman is shocked that men don't want to date her. Like, of course they don't.
Yes, when you don't have kids, you have more time. Don't have to have a babysitter when you go out. You have unlimited time. You can just do whatever you want when you want.
I mean, not true. A lot of people without children have other commitments anyway. But I understand what she's saying, right? If you have a child, you have less time available. If you want to do something, you're gonna have to, you know, like hand them over somewhere. Like, I see what she's saying here. And again, these are reasons why men wouldn't want to date you. Like, why would a guy want to date you? But if he has to take you out on a date, you have to organize, you know, logistics for your child to be taken care of.
But something happens to a woman when you become a mom. You just evolve into a fucking badass. You prioritize, you manage your entire life and raise a human being at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. And nobody's taking that away from single mothers, okay? Your child becomes your priority. That's the point. Like, why would a man want to enter your life and know for a fact off the bat that he's never going to be, you know, the top priority in your life? He's going to come below kids. Oftentimes he's going to come below career. He's going to be like priority number 7, 8, 9, 10 plus, depending on how respectable the man is. Like, why would a guy come and enter into your life when, rightfully so, you have other priorities like your kid? Okay, it's not as if a guy, you know, you can go out there and you can have a relationship with a man and then make each other your top priorities. Not that women want to be your top priority anyway, guys, but you see the point here. Why would a guy join your life, right, voluntarily decide to enter your life, and then he's priority number 67 below the kid? And nobody's saying that you shouldn't prioritize your kids. Of course you should prioritize your kids or kid. But why would a dude come and voluntarily enter your life is beyond me.
And there's nothing like a woman that is busy, hardworking, is providing for their kids while trying to be the best person they can be. giving you, your potential partner, the time that is supposed to be meant for her.
I'm just going to pause it here, guys, because we see this point in so many videos. Like, girls seem to get it misunderstood. Men don't care that you're a boss babe and you're on your grind and you're doing your career or whatever the case may be. These things are not appealing to men. Like, that's fantastic for you. If you want to work on your career and you've got your purpose, cool. But like, when dudes hear this, it doesn't make you more enticing to date. And again, guys, I said this at the beginning of the video, okay? A lot of women have no idea what men actually want in a relationship. If women knew what men wanted in a relationship, like, a lot of them wouldn't act the way that they act. You know, it just boggles my mind how girls can go out, they'll act one way, okay, and then they'll cry when they don't get a relationship. Now, I'm not bagging on this woman specifically here, guys. It's just a general trend that you see a lot of women go out and they'll act in certain ways that are not, you know, not conducive to being chosen for a relationship, and then they'll cry when men don't pick them. Men don't want single mothers. A lot of men don't want to get married. They don't want the attitude. We don't want boss babes or quote-unquote queens. If you want to go out and chase your career, that's fine, but no dude cares about these things. And there's going to be some guy in the comments like, oh, Taylor, I care about it. Yeah, but you're a very small percentage. Like, there is a very small percentage of men. The exception does not make the rule. Most men do not care about your career. They are not interested in raising another man's child. And to be honest, it's not altogether shocking that men don't want these things.
And people that don't have kids give you their free time because they have a lot of free time.
Again, a lot of people, just because someone doesn't have kids, doesn't mean that they have a lot of spare time, by the way. Like, a lot of people have commitments and things to do. Like, a man, if a dude's on his grind, he's sacrificing a hell of a lot to come and take care of you and your child. You see what I'm like? You might think that the man has a lot of time, but if he's actually working towards something, like, he might not be on the clock, for example, but that doesn't mean he has free time, or at least time he should be willing to give up to look after you and your kid. Because guys, particularly the younger dudes, right? Dudes in their 20s, 30s, like, they don't have this time to be just screwing around, dating a single mother for a couple of years, taking care of her child. Like, I got an email the other day, guys. I get many emails each day, messages on locals and stuff like that. You know, I cannot get through them all typically. But I got an email the other day of a man asking if he should mess with a single mother, and, you know, he's been friends with her for many years. And I'm like, no, absolutely not. You shouldn't, because you should have better things to do with your time than to take care of somebody else and their child who's not actually your child.
And with single moms, they give you their precious, precious time that is meant for themselves.
Oh, wow. Like, thank you, Your Highness. Couldn't just go and get a girlfriend who's not a single mother who would also give their time? Like, why are we as dudes just supposed to be grateful for someone's time? You ever consider the fact that maybe we don't want your time? This is kind of like, girls will always complain about creepy dudes and dudes being creepy. You don't want the creepy dude's time, and everybody understands that. Everyone goes, yeah, you know, queen, know your worth, pick the men that you want, blah, 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 have standards. But as soon as a man says, no, look, I don't want the time of a single mother, then people are shocked by it.
And I think that means more than somebody that has unlimited amount of time. And here's the tea. If there's a guy that doesn't want to be with you, it's because they are super, super insecure and they don't feel like they bring enough to the table to be with you.
Okay, I'm going to have to pause you right there, madam. That is the biggest load of bullshit I have ever heard. A lot of men don't want to deal with single mothers because men do not innately have an interest in taking care of another man's child. It does not have to do with being scared or intimidated or feeling less than. Men are just not interested in raising what isn't actually theirs. It amazes me how a lot of people can't seem to grasp this concept, right? We see in society, oh, men should defend our country. Men should protect our women. Men should give up their resources and do this and that. And they never give a reason why. They just say men should do these things. You know, and if he doesn't want to do that, then he's not a real man. You ever consider the fact that modern day countries don't actually give men a reason to defend them? Like, isn't that a wild concept to think about? These things that require defense from men, require resources from men, require love and care and affection from men, the men actually get very, very little in return. And this is very true when it comes to single mothers, guys. Relationships like these. I've known dudes who have gone through relationships with single mothers and they come out the other end and the relationship's over and it feels like just a giant weight has been lifted from their back. Because oftentimes, guys, these relationships, these marriages, these things are not things that actually serve men.
They feel like they're not mentally, physically, financially ready to be with a woman that has her shit together.
Really? Okay, so first of all, untrue. Second of all, if she had her crap together, why is she a single mother? This is a hot take for you gentlemen, okay? If a woman does not have a father for her child, I would not consider her life put together. Unless, of course, the man was taken through unfortunate circumstances, if you see what I'm saying. Like if the dude has obviously passed away, or something like that, I can totally understand. But you cannot say that you are a put-together individual, your life is put together, and your things are in order, and your time is valuable, when you haven't even got the father of your kids around to raise that kid. Like, your life is not together, and you can be sure as hell the kid's life as a consequence is not together either.
So, first of all, we don't want to attract those type of guys. So just don't chase them. Don't go near those guys. You do not need someone that doesn't want to be with you and your prized possession, your daughter or your son. If they
Guys, I can agree with her to an extent here, okay? Like, I'm gonna change what she said a little bit here and agree with it, alright? You should not be chasing people who are not interested in you. Right, that's straight up true. I see so many TikToks of women saying, oh, you know, this guy treated me poorly, or this guy did this, or whatever. And oftentimes the way the relationship starts is they're just chasing the dude when the dude clearly doesn't want them. People would be so much happier, in my view, if they stopped chasing things that didn't want them in return. I can totally see the logic there. Okay, now any logic that she just said beyond that wasn't really logic, but the point still stands. I'm going to give her some credit here, guys. You shouldn't chase things that have no interest in being in your life. I think a lot of men and a lot of women, to the 5 women who watch the channel, like, obviously it causes these people a lot of pain. I see a lot of dudes in situations they shouldn't be in. I see a lot of women covering videos like this in situations that they shouldn't be in. But you got to take some accountability and say, hey, maybe I shouldn't be chasing this person who doesn't want to be in my life. Right? I've said this before, guys, but I think so many of the world's problems could be solved if, like, men in particular started to respect themselves. But let's continue.
They don't look at you and your son or daughter like the best thing that's ever walked into their life, then they are trash.
Yeah, see, I don't know about the trash person. Just because someone doesn't view you as God and somebody doesn't want to enter into your life, maybe just look at it as though someone doesn't want to enter into your life, and you can leave it at that. But hey, it is what it is. But guys, let's jump into today's Reddit post. And I was going to cover a typical Reddit story here today, but I found this really hilarious one that I wanted to pull up for you guys. So this is a Ask Reddit thing on Reddit, which I suppose is just a subreddit. I don't really use Reddit a whole lot, guys. I think it's an absolute clownish website, but it makes for some good content because people ask some very stupid things. But we have here an article that I wanted to show you guys, which ties into what we're talking about here today. And this is written by someone who's literally named Single Mum from 12 years ago. Okay, so this is the question that has been, you know, since the dawn of time, people have been asking this question. And the question is, to the male Redditors, would you date a single mother? Now, I'm hoping that anyone with self-respect, you know, will say no to this question. But for the sake of just fun, let's have a look and see what this individual has to say. So she says, purely hypothetical, I am not looking for a date. If you don't want to date a single mother, please say why. If you already are, let's have some insight into how you feel about her kids or kid. She then goes on to say, to the guys saying that they wouldn't because they don't like kids, don't feel like they're responsible enough, aren't old enough, etc., good on you. So basically, any dude who takes the accountability onto himself and says that the reason he doesn't want to date a single mother is because of his own issues, good on you. But then she goes on to say, to any of you guys saying that you won't date single mothers by placing accountability onto them, you're an asshat. So let's take a look at this. To those of you who are saying single mothers, especially single mothers under a certain age or a certain questionable word, make bad decisions, etc., you guys are a-hats. And I'm having to dance around, this previous word here for the for Susan and her omnipotent eyeballs. You have no idea of every woman's situation. To anyone saying single mothers should stay single because it should be all about their kids or kid, that doesn't really make sense to me. Hey, whatever rationalization you have to do to get back out there dating, you go queen. Married couples with kids still make time for each other, go on dates, have bedroom fun, whatever. If they didn't, they wouldn't be married. So why can't single parents try to find happiness with another adult as well? As long as they don't F up their kids in the process, too late. I don't see what the big deal is. To the guys who said yes, good for you, smiley face, she says. Notice how whenever we come across things like these, guys, it's basically like, if you don't want to date a single mother because you place any accountability on her, you're in the wrong. You're a terrible guy. You obviously don't take yourself very seriously. You mustn't be successful, and obviously you don't like women. The funniest part about these situations is that men are not intimidated by you. They're just not interested typically in raising another man's child. I don't know how, difficult that is to understand, but apparently it is very difficult. Guys, we're going to be calling today's episode there. As always, remember to subscribe to our other content creators, Hadan from Peace of Mind and Detective Warg. Their channels will be linked in the video description. Make sure that you go and show them some love. But without further ado, guys, we're going to be leaving today's episode there. So make sure you take care of yourselves, and I will be seeing you all in the next episode. Peace.